All right. Royal Rumble Day 2, Night 2 begins.
Alrighty. The match starts with Mike Rome reading the rules for the Royal Rumble. Afterwards, we await the first entrant. You hear the words El Idolo, and out comes Andrade at number 1. At number 2, you hear Ricochet's music hit and he makes his way to the ring. The bell rings and both men just share the smile between them before Andrade charges in and goes for a big boot. Ricochet ducks and kips up. Andrade goes for the move in again, but Ricochet kicks him in the gut. He then runs the ropes, slides across the back of Andrade before hitting the ropes again and goes to hit a Hurricane Rana on Andrade. But Andrade flips out of that and both men once again just share a smile between them. The clock starts counting down. When the clock hits 0, you hear the music of Bad Bunny. He enters the ring and the three men stare off before going into this remarkable sequence of flips and reversals. We see Ricochet get thrown over the top rope, but why did that go so far down? Ricochet get thrown over the top rope, but manage to hang on as the clock has started to count down once again. As the clock hits 0, out comes Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo rushes towards the ring and immediately climbs to the top rope. As he sees Ricochet trying to re-enter the ring, he hits nothing but net on Ricochet, and Ricochet falls out of the ring. Andrade and Bad Bunny beat down on Mello before the clock starts to count down, and once it hits 0, you hear John Cena's music hit. John comes down to the ring and is kind of a fish out of water. All three of these men are capable of high-flying action, and then there's John. John sees the beatdown on Carmelo and decides to join in. We see Andrade rushing in to do his knee tack in the corner to Carmelo. Then we see John and Andrade pick up Carmelo and set him up for Bad Bunny to hit the Canadian Destroyer. John, then amazed by the move, asks Bad Bunny how he did that. Bad Bunny gives him some advice, and then John sets up in the corner and asks them to get Carmelo in position. John then looks around to the crowd before jumping off the ropes and hits a Canadian Destroyer of his own on Carmelo. Cena is so elated and is celebrating. Andrade and Bad Bunny both applaud him, and the clock starts counting down. The clock hits 0 and out comes Damian Priest. Damian comes down to the ring and confronts Bad Bunny. They have a small discussion before both move towards Andrade and Cena. Andrade and Cena try to fight back, but the chemistry between Bunny and Priest is too much to overcome. Priest and Bunny are celebrating being the only men standing in the ring when the clock starts to count down. With both Priest and Bunny distracted, Carmelo rushes in and throws Bad Bunny over the top rope. Priest, then annoyed with this, just stares a hole through Carmelo as the clock hits 0 and out comes Logan Paul. Logan gets on the apron and sees John in position for his buckshot lariat. He goes for the move, but Andrade moves Cena out of the way and catches Paul with a spinning back elbow. Paul then stumbles over to Cena, and Cena picks him up for the AAA. Cena walks towards the ropes and just AAs Paul over them. During this, Priest is just laying in an unrelenting assault on Carmelo. John sees this and goes to pull Priest back, but Priest just continues beating down on Hayes. Cena once again pulls Priest back, and Priest just nails Cena with a right hook. Andrade then shoves Priest back, and Priest and Andrade then exchange blows. The countdown clock begins, and once it hits 0, out comes Braun Breaker. Carmelo is barely making his way to his feet when Braun enters the ring and just spears Carmelo in half. He then sees Andrade and Priest brawling and he grabs Andrade and just throws him across the ring and sizes up Priest. As they stare down, both Andrade and Cena come in and start beating down on both men. Cena and Priest are brawling, and Braun and Andrade are brawling. Andrade throws Braun against the ropes and goes for the back elbow, but Braun ducks it, hits the ropes, and nails Andrade with a spear. Braun then picks up Andrade and goes to throw him out, but Andrade manages to hang on. Braun charges to hit him off, but Andrade catches him with a forearm. As Andrade catches his breath, Carmelo nails him with a super kick and Andrade drops to the floor. Mello is taunting Braun as he essentially stole his elimination. The countdown clock starts and Braun gives chase to Carmelo. Carmelo runs around the inside of the ring before just sliding under the bottom rope, and Braun follows to the outside. The clock hits 0 and it's Trick Williams. Carmelo is stopped in his tracks as he stares up the ramp at Trick. This moment of distraction causes Braun to catch up and just run Carmelo over. Trick tells Braun that he's got this and throws Carmelo back in. Braun and Trick then share a stare down before agreeing to work together as they throw Carmelo against the ropes, and at the same time Trick hits a trick shot as Braun hits a spear. They both pick up Carmelo and go to throw him out, but Trick shoves Braun back and throws Mello out himself. He is taunting Mello He is taunting Mello for eliminating him, but Braun is visibly upset, and as Trick is leaning over the ropes taunting Mello, Braun grabs Trick's legs and just dumps him over the top rope. The countdown clock begins, and when it hits 0, out comes Bobby Lashley. Braun then just sets up in the middle of the ring and awaits Bobby to enter the ring. Once Bobby enters the ring, where was I? Once Bobby enters the ring, Braun and him just stare each other down. Before they can exchange blows, Cena and Priest get back into the action and attack both of them. Cena and Lashley are going back and forth, and so are Priest and Breaker. On one side, we see Lashley get Cena into the corner, it's just nailing him a constant shoulder thrust into Cena's midsection. On the other side, we see Priest thrown against the ropes, but as Priest hits the ropes, Braun quickly closes a gap and tries to shove him over. Priest manages to fight back and is now trying to get Braun over the top rope. Lashley turns away from Cena and grabs both Priest and Breaker from behind and tries to shove them over the top rope. Priest manages to catch himself, but Breaker was unable to. Lashley from back. Priest manages to catch himself, but Breaker was unable to and falls out of the ring. The countdown clock begins as Priest is trying not to get pushed off the apron by Lashley. The clock hits 0 and Austin Theory comes sprinting down to the ring and attacks Lashley. This allows for Priest to get back into the ring. Priest then moves over to help Theory on the beatdown on Lashley. Lashley, though, manages to fight back and chucks Theory across the ring. Priest throws Lashley against the ropes, but chucks Theory across the ring. Priest throws Lashley against the ropes. Um, Jesus. But Austin realizes what's about to happen and shoves Priest out of the way and takes a spear himself. Priest just watches Theory in agonizing pain after the spear. Lashley is eyeing down Priest when Cena comes in and starts attacking Lashley. Priest also joins in on beating down on Lashley. Theory then recovers slightly and also joins in on the beatdown. The three of them get Lashley into the corner and are trying to get him out when the countdown clock begins. The clock hits 0 and out comes Adam Cole. The three men don't even pay any attention to this as they are so focused on Lashley. The three men are struggling, but are getting close to eliminating him when Adam Cole enters the ring and is the final shove to get Lashley over the ropes. The four men are celebrating eliminating Lashley when Priest and Theory realize who their help was. The smile on Cole's face quickly turns to fear. Cena tries to step between them, explain that he helped them, but Priest just grabs Cole by the throat, and Theory shoves Cena back. Cena and Theory begin to brawl as Adam Cole is trying to get Priest's hand off his throat. The countdown clock once again begins. Priest goes to hit a South of Heaven on Cole, but Cole pokes Priest in the eyes. Priest drops Cole as the clock hits 0 and Dean Ambrose makes his way down to the ring. Adam Cole then takes a few steps back and awaits Priest to stand up to hit a super kick. As Cole goes for the super kick, Priest ducks, and unfortunately, Ambrose has just entered the ring right behind Priest and gets caught with the super kick and stumbles back and falls over the top rope. Cole then turns around after eliminating Ambrose and gets caught into the South of Heaven. Priest is about to pick up Cole and eliminate him when he sees Cena close to AAing Theory over the top rope, and Priest drops Cole and pulls Theory off of Cena's shoulders. Cena then brawls with Priest. The countdown clock begins. Clock hits 0 and you hear wrestling has more than one royal family. And Cody Rhodes makes his way down to the ring. Cena, upon hearing this, gets distracted for a moment. That moment was all Priest needed, and when Cena turns back towards Priest, he gets caught into a South of Heaven himself. Priest then moves to the center of the ring. Center of the ring and comes face to face with Cody. They stare down for a bit before Adam Cole nails Priest with a super kick and Theory attacks Cody. Theory has gotten Cody in the corner, but Cody manages to switch their positions and now has the advantage. Cole at the same time is trying to get Priest up and get him over the top rope, but Cole is struggling to pick him up. Cena has recovered enough to where he goes to help Cole, but Cole is adamant that he's got this. Cena moves in to try to help Cole again, but Cole just shoves him back. Cena then moves in and shoves Cole. The two men stare down before trading blows in the center of the ring. The clock begins again. The clock hits 0 and Karrion Kross makes his way down to the ring. Cody gets up and is just staring down Kross as he makes his way to the ring. Theory tries to capitalize and grabs Cody and tries to throw him over the ropes, but Cody reverses and chucks Theory over the ropes. Theory, though, barely manages to hang on and sneaks his way back into the ring to help Priest recover. Cody moves back into the center to meet Kross face to face. Cross just laughs as Cody throws the first punch. They brawl back and forth before Cross shoves Cody back into the ropes, and once Cody gets back to him, Cross picks up Cody with one arm and hits a sit-out Uranagi. Cross then turns his attention to Cena. Cross slowly makes his way to his feet as the look on Cena's face is one that is questioning if he really wants to fight Cross. Cena doesn't have a chance as Cross quickly makes his way over to Cena and starts his attack. He is just beating down on him before Cody manages to get back to his feet and attacks Cross from behind. Cody is hitting Cross as hard as he can and eventually feels like he has stunned Cross and goes for the Cody cutter. As Cody leaps off the ropes, he is caught by Cross and is just German suplexed across the ring. The countdown clock begins and as it hits zero, Cole is starting to face off against Priest in Theory, and Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. Nakamura stands by the side of Adam Cole, and the two pairs of him and Cole and Priest in Theory brawl. Um, Priest gets Nakamura on his shoulders and attempts to dump him to the outside, but Cole sees this and grabs Nakamura's foot and pulls him off of Priest's shoulders. While Cole focusing on Nakamura, Theory is able to drop kick Cole in the back and Cole almost falls over the top rope, but Nakamura this time is able to save Adam Cole. The countdown clock begins as the two pairs continue to brawl. The clock hits zero and Kevin Owens makes his way to the ring. Owens enters the ring and surveys the area. Kevin decides to head over to Cross, Cena, and Cody. He contemplates attacking Cena before just attacking Cross. Cody, Cena, and Owens then get Cross up, and despite Cross's best efforts, he cannot overpower the three of them and ends up getting eliminated. The countdown clock begins, the clock hits zero, and out comes JD McDonough. JD rushes in and joins the assault against Priest in Theory. Priest gets knocked down, and Cole, Nakamura, and JD all attempt to throw Theory over the top rope, but Priest is able to recover and pulls the three of them off of Theory. Priest shoves JD across the ring before Nakamura and Cole gang up on him. Priest, though, explodes out of the attack and punches Nakamura before grabbing Cole by the throat. JD, though, rushes back in and attacks Priest before Cole and Nakamura get back into the action. The trio attempts to eliminate Priest, but Theory manages to recover in time and is fighting off the other three to the best of his efforts when the countdown clock begins. As the clock hits zero, Grayson Waller makes his way down to the ring as the number 19 entrant. He waits on the outside for a moment before jumping between the middle and bottom ropes and rolling through the ring. As he stands up, he shoves Cole back and nails Theory with a stunner, and Theory goes flying over the top rope. Grayson gloats against the ropes when he turns around and sees Cole, Nakamura, and JD staring at him. Grayson is trying to defend himself and prevent getting beaten up. As he's defending himself, Theory grabs his foot from the outside and distracts him. Grayson takes a moment to look at Theory, and this moment allows Nakamura to charge in and nail Grayson with a Kinshasa and send him over the ropes. Theory laughs as he walks off. Cole, Nakamura, and JD turn their focus to Cena and Cody across the ring. The clock begins to count down, and when it hits zero, Seth Rollins makes his way to the ring. Cole is taunting in the middle on the middle ropes when Priest recovers and grabs JD and chucks him across the ring. You then see Seth enter the ring and starts attacking Nakamura. Adam, seeing all of this in a panic, decides to just go for the Canadian Destroyer anyway on Cody, and Cody essentially just stands up with Adam on his shoulders and then hits him with an Alabama Slam. Kevin then gets up and Cody and him exchange a look before they both pick up Cole and go to eliminate him. JD sees this and tries to rush over to save him, but Priest grabs him by the back of the neck. Priest then moves around and grabs JD by his throat and goes for the South of Heaven, but Seth and Nakamura bump into him and he drops JD. With JD being held back for a minute, he is unable to save Cole, who gets eliminated by Owens and Cody. Seth takes down Nakamura, but then Priest shoves Rollins. Rollins then shoves Priest back, and then both men begin brawling. You see JD head over to Owens and Cody and get in their faces about eliminating Cole. Both men start beating down on JD, but Cena recovers and starts attacking Owens. The countdown clock begins and hits zero, and CM Punk makes his way down to the ring. Punk noticeably has some staples in his head from the previous night, and in the ring you see Seth take his eyes off Priest and just glares at Punk as he makes his way down to the ring. This moment of distraction lets Priest grab Seth and attempt to throw him over the ropes, but Seth manages to hang on. Punk gets into the ring and helps Priest out and manages to eliminate Seth. Seth is furious on the outside and officials are trying to escort him out, but he breaks through and re-enters the ring as CM Punk has his back turned and attacks him. Referees enter the ring and are trying to pry Seth off of Punk, but they are unable to. And with Punk already not being 100%, Seth just throws him over the top ropes himself. He then follows Punk out, and the two men brawl to the back. The countdown clock begins again, and once it hits zero, out comes AJ Styles. AJ enters the ring and turns his attention over to Cena and Owens. He attacks Cena as Cena is attempting to eliminate Owens. AJ is quick with his attacks and hits Cena with a phenomenal blitz. AJ celebrates, taking Cena down when Owens tries to throw him out from behind. AJ manages to hang on, and as Owens rushes in to hit him off the ropes, AJ connects with a forearm to stagger Owens back, and he goes for and hits the phenomenal forearm. AJ and Cody then brawl as the countdown clock begins again. The clock hits zero and Braun Strowman makes his way down to the ring. The ring takes notice of who has come out and basically all agree to work together. Braun enters the ring and stares off against Cody, AJ, Owens, Cena, Nakamura, Priest, and JD. They all move towards the center of the ring and start beating down on Braun. It seems like they'll beat him down before he shoves everyone off of him. He grabs JD and just throws him over the ropes, but Nakamura is there to grab onto his hands before he falls out. It brings him back in. He's trying to wreak havoc as AJ, Cody, Owens, Cena, and Priest shove him back towards the ropes and are all trying to get him over. Well, all except AJ, who, whilst Cody is focused on Braun, grabs Cody's legs and hurls him over the top rope. This elimination has distracted everyone, and Braun is able to stay in the ring. Priest is staring down AJ when JD and Nakamura attack him from behind. AJ and Braun temporarily work together to take out both. You see AJ hit a Styles Clash on Owens, and Braun hit a running power slam on Cena. AJ then speaks with Braun about doing a 450 off of his shoulders. Braun agrees and gets AJ on the shoulders before making AJ drop down, and Braun just hits a running power slam on AJ. The countdown clock then begins, and Braun is waiting in the middle of the ring for the next participant. The clock hits zero, and Bronson Reed makes his way down to the ring. The crowd is building with anticipation as Bronson makes his way into the ring, and Braun and him just have a stare off. Braun definitely has a height advantage, but you know some destruction is about to be caused. Before either man can hit one another, everyone else jumps them. JD, Nakamura, and Owens attack Braun, while Cena, Priest, and AJ attack Bronson. Braun and Bronson are beaten down for a moment before throwing everyone off of them. You see Braun get a hold of JD and Bronson get a hold of AJ. They throw them at one another, and AJ and JD run past one another and get run over by the other person. They slowly make their way back towards one another before Nakamura, Owens, Cena, and Priest all jump Bronson. Braun throws Nakamura and Owens back before Priest turns around and starts fighting Braun. Cena is still trying to eliminate. Cena is still trying to eliminate Bronson, but Bronson just grabs Cena by the throat and just beels him over the top rope. At the same time, Braun hits a running power slam on Priest. Braun and Bronson start brawling as the clock hits zero, and Dominic Mysterio makes his way down to the ring. Dominic slides in and punches away at Braun and Bronson, who slowly stop fighting and turn their attention towards Dom. Dom has this look of pure fear across his face as both Braun and Bronson grab him and throw him across the ring into Damian Priest. Braun and Bronson then turn around to AJ Styles, flying through the air and connecting with a double phenomenal forearm to both men. This drops Bronson to a knee and Braun to his back. Shinsuke then rushes in and nails Bronson with the Kinshasa, and at the same time Kevin Owens is jumping off the top with a frog splash onto Braun Strowman. The three men are deciding what to do as they pick up Braun and go to throw him out, but are struggling. Priest and Dom then come over and help out, and the five of them, I guess, five of them manage to get Braun over the top rope. Bronson then is making his way back to his feet as the clock begins counting down. The six men, the fives, I don't know how many people are in this ring at the moment. I think it's five. But I wrote six for some reason. The five men then rush Bronson and are trying to get him out as the clock hits zero. Drew McIntyre then makes his way down to the ring. The five men have Bronson against the ropes and are struggling to get him over as Drew enters the ring and lines up his spot and nails Bronson with the claymore that sends him over the top rope. They celebrate the elimination before Drew nails AJ with a Glasgow kiss. This then causes Nakamura and JD to brawl with Priest and Dom. Kevin then attacks Drew after he hits AJ. Drew, though, being more fresh than Owens, comes to his advantage as he just grabs Owens, then belly to bellies him across into the corner. On the other side, you see Nakamura and JD both getting beaten down by Priest and Dom. Priest is more or less directing Dom on what to do, as Priest has been in the match for over 50 minutes at this point. The countdown clock starts. The clock hits zero, and Ilya Dragunov makes his way down to the ring. AJ is just making his way to his feet when Ilya comes rushing in and nails him with a diving headbutt. Ilya is fired up and turns around into a Glasgow kiss from Drew. Drew just chuckles down at Ilya when from behind Kevin nails Drew with a low blow. Kevin seems exhausted but picks himself up off the mat and sees JD getting beaten down in the corner from Dama Priest. He contemplates helping but decides against as he just picks up Ilya, and Ilya basically jumps up off the mat to uppercut Owens. Not Cena. Kevin just collapses down to the mat, and Ilya is trying to pick up the dead weight of Owens. He is struggling when Drew nails Ilya with a low blow himself from behind. The only men standing as the clock begins to count down are Dom and Priest. The clock hits zero in LA, and out comes LA Knight. He enters He enters the ring and decides to take on the biggest dude standing in Damian Priest. He is throwing punches and they are moving across the ring towards the ropes. Dom sees this and goes to help and grabs Knight's shoulders. Dom turns Knight around, but Knight just hits Dom with a BFT. Knight takes a moment to taunt Dom, but that gives Priest a chance to capitalize and throw Knight over the ropes. But Knight manages to hang on. Priest is trying to shove Knight off the apron. As he does, JD comes rushing in and grabs Priest by the waist and attempts to German suplex him. Priest stops for a moment as he looks down and basically sees JD trying his best to pick up Priest. This is given Knight time to recover, and he pulls Priest's head down across the ropes, across the top rope. Priest then head bounces up off the top rope, and this momentum is enough for JD to manage to pick up Priest and nail him with a German suplex. Knight re-enters the ring, and JD is celebrating with him for a moment before Knight just hits JD with a BFT. Knight then goes across the ring and starts stomping on AJ as the countdown clock has begun. The clock hits zero, and Finn Balor makes his way to the ring. Um, in the ring, Kevin Owens is making his way to his feet alongside Ilya and Drew. Kevin and Ilya are both attempting to eliminate McIntyre, but Drew manages to fight them off. Kevin turns around after this, and Finn catches him with a shotgun kick into the corner. Finn then climbs to the top ropes and hits a coup de grace on Kevin Owens. He then picks up Owens and throws him over the top rope, but Kevin is thrown out near the ring steps and somehow manages to save himself by landing with one foot on the steel steps. Balor doesn't see this, and he moves on to fighting Knight, who happens to be near him. Priest and Dom are slowly recovering on one side of the ring as JD is making his way to his feet to help Balor against Knight. After some back and forth between Balor and Knight, Finn and JD turn around to Priest and Dom. The two pairs fight, and eventually Finn and JD gain the advantage. Finn turns Finn turns around into a stunner out of nowhere from Owens, and Finn stumbles back into the ropes. Kevin then charges in to clothesline him over, but Balor drops down while holding onto the top rope, and Owens goes flying over. The clock at this point has started to count down. Balor taunts Owens, and as he turns around, Priest big boots him over the top rope. With one foot hanging over, JD comes from behind and lifts up Priest's other leg and dumps him over the top rope. Dom then comes up from behind and shoves JD over the top rope. Dom is doing an Eddie Guerrero taunt when the clock hits zero, and for the final entrance, you hear the guitar riff of Brock Lesnar's music. The joy on Dom's face quickly drops as he slowly turns around and he sees Brock Lesnar making his way down to the ring. Dom is looking around frantically for anyone to be able to step up, but AJ, Drew, Knight, and Ilya are all taken out. Brock enters the ring, and Dom is just begging for him to show mercy. Dom is down on his knees begging when Brock tells him to stand up. Brock is shaking basically out of his boots as he stands up, and Brock just puts a hand on Dom's shoulders and just smiles and laughs. Dom nervously laughs back before Brock just destroys him with a clothesline. He then picks up Dom and F5s him to the outside on top of Priest, Balor, and JD. After Brock eliminates Dom, he quickly is ganged up on by Styles, Knight, and Ilya. They stagger Brock. Uh, They stagger Brock back towards the ropes, and Ilya goes rushing in for a diving headbutt, but Brock just catches Ilya out of the air and German suplexes him over the top rope. Knight and AJ look at one another for a moment before rushing in again and trying to take down the beast. Brock though manages to pick up Knight and drives him across the ring into the corner. Brock is just nailing shoulder thrusts when AJ pulls Brock off of Knight. AJ swings at Brock, but Brock just picks him up on his shoulders and it seems like he's going to hit an F5, but Knight then kicks him in the gut and attempts to go for a BFT. Brock, though, just grabs onto Knight's waist, and while AJ is still on his shoulders, he German suplexes Knight over the top rope while also dumping AJ off of his shoulders to the floor. Brock then admires his work before turning around into a Claymore from Drew McIntyre. Brock, though, is somewhat quickly able to make his way back to his feet, so Drew backs up and nails Brock with another Claymore. Brock still seems to have some fight in him as he is trying to make his way back up to his feet and is currently on a knee. Drew moves in and goes to hit a future shock DDT, but Brock manages to get behind Drew and nail him with a German suplex. Brock is trying to shake the cobwebs out of his head and picks Drew up and places him in the corner. Brock then is just trying to lay him and Brock then is just laying in body shot after body shot on Drew. Brock takes a step back after several punches, and when he goes to move back in, Drew nails him with the Glasgow kiss. Both Brock and Drew collapse down to the mat from this. As both men are making their way to their feet, they exchange words. Drew tells Brock that this is his moment, and Brock tells Drew that he is about to take his moment. Uh, Drew charges in and starts punching Brock back when he wraps his arms around to go for the belly to belly, but Brock once again slips behind him and nails him with another German suplex. Brock keeps trash talking Drew, telling him it's not his moment now, and how much better of a champion he is going to be. Brock maybe toys with Drew for too long, as when he goes to pick up Drew, Drew nails him with a low blow. Drew then quickly makes his way to his feet and hits the ropes before nailing Brock with the Claymore. Brock stumbles back and is leaning against the ropes, and Drew charges in for one more Claymore. But Brock manages to move out of the way, and Drew goes sailing over the top rope, eliminating himself, leaving Brock as the last man standing in the Rumble, winning it. And that is your men's Royal Rumble. All
God,
27 minutes of it.
edit matches. Gotta add Brock in the top 10.
Top 8.
Yes, that is correct. Well then, that's like for
Listen, I had ideas. I was going to execute on so many ideas.
Okay. Rhea and Bianca start off with a truce. They go after Nia. Oh, hold on, let me just fucking start another time. Alright, Rhea and Bianca start off with a truce. They go after Naomi because they know the numbers game is going to be against them. Once they get Naomi out of the picture, they start working on each other. Rhea is able to hit a riptide on Bianca. She covers her, but it gets broken up. Rhea turns around to see it's Mercedes Moné. She immediately starts to rush Mercedes, but Moné is more agile. She's able to dodge and reverse to hit a bankrupt. Bianca gets up and she gets hit with a Monet maker. She then locks in a bank statement uh, on Bianca for a while before she goes to pick up Naomi. She's dragging Naomi in the ring when Nia and Tamina start to make their way to the ring. Mercedes finally gets Naomi in and hits another Monet maker on Bianca. She tells Naomi to cover her. Nia is still pissed off from the Rumble. She goes straight to Mercedes and starts arguing with her. Nia starts shoving Mercedes a little bit. Mercedes tries to calm her down. Tamina is also trying to stop this from happening. Naomi finally gets to cover Bianca. Nia slaps Mercedes. 1. Mercedes punches Nia. 2. Nia uses her power. She pushes Mercedes so hard she goes flying and it breaks up Naomi's pin. Naomi gets up and starts arguing with them all. Rhea rolls up Naomi, but the bloodline start attacking her. Nia and Mercedes go back to fighting. They fight all the way to the back. Tamina trying to separate them. Um, Bianca is hanging off the apron when Naomi gets goes to pick her up. Bianca has a chair that she smacks Naomi across the head with. She gets up. She hits a KOD on Naomi. Naomi rolls out the ring. Rhea starts rushing Bianca. Bianca ducks. She hits a KOD. She's not done though. She deadlifts Rhea up and she goes for another KOD. She's smiling. This is it. She's soaking up the moment and holding Rhea up. The crowd is standing ready to see a new champion be crowned. When suddenly the lights go out, then we hear a storm is coming. Lights come back on. Jade comes out the entrance. She starts running to the ring. Bianca puts down Rhea. Naomi is getting back up when Jade hits her with a big boot, sending her flying into the steel steps. Bianca starts throws a punch, but Jade counters. She starts to get wrecked by Jade. Jade hits Jaded. She smiles at the camera. She walks off. Rhea crawls towards Bianca. She puts one hand on her chest, and Rhea Ripley retains. Whew. She's back.
Oh, no, okay, it's fine.
He made the wrong person champion.
I, in fact, didn't. I deleted the whole match.
Okay, well, it's fine.
I don't even. I was out of the edit screen. Like I edited the men's just so I could put Brock back, but okay.
Okay, it's fine.
I was like, okay, square to simulate, and match is gone.
Alright, Gunther versus Black. Alright, Gunther is shaken up during this
Wait, what?
match. What?
Do we put Gunther and Alistair here?
Yeah.
Okay. Not how I had it, but okay.
What did you have?
I had Braun and Ilya, but it's fine.
Ah,
The pacing makes more sense this way.
okay. Alright, Gunther versus Black. Gunther shaking up during this match. He looks worried, like he's not confident in himself. Always second guessing what the next move he'll try next is. And Black is confident and ready to take the fight to any level. They absolutely beat the shit out of each other, but Gunther's indecision is what ends up costing him, as we see him going for a power bomb, but he changes his mind. So before he could pick up Black, he tries spinning out of it to lock in a sleeper hold, but Black spins out of the spin and is able to hit a massive black mass on Gunther for the victory. Gunther is left looking disappointed in himself. Black wins. Cool.
Okay. Alistair wins. Okay. We then move into Braun versus Ilya. Braun and Ilya both come into this match not at 100% due to being in the Royal Rumble less than an hour ago. Braun's a bit worse for wear, having been in the Rumble for longer than Ilya, but neither man seems ready to use this as an excuse. Once the bell rings, both men rush in and just start beating the crap out of one another. Braun gains the early advantage and throws Ilya off the ropes. Braun goes for a clothesline. Ilya Braun goes to clothesline Ilya on his way back, but Ilya instead hits Braun with a diving headbutt. Ilya covers Braun, 1, 2, kick out. Ilya, feeling close to victory already, drags Braun close to the corner and heads up top. Ilya is getting ready to hit an H-bomb, but Braun rolls out of the ring. Braun is taking a moment to catch his breath, but Ilya has other plans and jumps off the top rope towards Braun. Ilya connects with the crossbody and fires up for the crowd. Ilya then picks Braun back up and throws him into the ring, but Braun just rolls through the ring and out to the other side. Ilya just lets out a sigh and makes his way around towards Braun. As Ilya turns the corner to the side of the ring Braun is on, he gets caught with a spear. Braun then picks up Ilya and places him against the post. Braun then just hits a barrage of clotheslines on the back of Ilya's head, causing his head to just dribble off the post. Braun then just throws Ilya back into the ring. Braun gets into the ring and sets up in the corner for the spear. He awaits Ilya to get to his feet and then charges in. Ilya manages to jump over Braun and hits the ropes as Braun bounces out of the corner and Ilya is there to meet him with another flying headbutt. With Braun laid out in front of the corner, Ilya heads up to the top. Ilya takes his time getting to the top as he is still dazed from the clotheslines against the post just moments ago. Um, Ilya is once again charging up for the H-bomb, but Braun explodes up to his feet and jumps up to the top rope and hits Ilya with a Frankensteiner. Um, Braun yet again now sets up in the corner. He pulls his straps down, and once Ilya gets to his feet, he charges in for a spear and this time connects. He covers Ilya. 1, 2. Ilya somehow manages to kick out. Braun is furious by this, but he does not let this moment pass as he picks up Ilya and charges at the ropes. He runs past Ilya, hits the ropes behind him, passes Ilya again, hits the ropes in front of him, and nails Ilya with another spear. Ilya's body falls towards the ropes after the spear, but Ilya's body rolls towards the ropes after the spear, but Braun catches him before he rolls out and goes for the pin. 1, 2. Ilya barely manages to get his foot on the ropes, and the referee sees it. Braun, in disbelief at this, is thinking of what he needs to do to put Ilya away. Then this devilish grin comes across his face as he picks Ilya up. He gets Ilya into a suplex position and hoists him up in the air. Instead of falling back with Ilya, he takes a page out of his uncle's playbook and nails Ilya with a Steiner screwdriver. Braun then covers Ilya yet again for the 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker retains.
Damn, the co-main event is this? That's crazy.
Listen, we need to calm the crowd down before we pick them up for the main event.
All right. Nia is still hurt from her brawl earlier with Mercedes. Zelina is still hurt from winning her last woman standing match last night. So Nia is taking more damage than usual in her weakened state. At the midway point of the match, Mercedes comes back to the ring, just yelling at Nia. This catches Nia's attention. Nia starts taunting her, telling her to step up. Out comes Naomi to try to get these two separated. She's behind Mercedes as she's trying to pull her back. Nia goes for a punch on Mercedes. Mercedes ducks and Nia hits Naomi instead. Nia is shocked and stunned. This allows Mercedes to go and start unloading on her. Nia is getting beat all the way to the locker room again, leaving Tamina alone. Sonya and Zoe start unloading on her. Once they take her out, they start to focus on Michin and Zelina. Michin and Sonya take each other out, leaving Zoe and Zelina. Zoe is able to hit a Z360. She goes for the cover. 1, 2. Tamina breaks it up last second. She lifts up Zoe. She sends her flying out the ring. And Naomi goes for the pin on Zelina and picks up the victory. Not Naomi, Tamina goes for the thing. Yeah. Tamina
Tamina
wins.
picks up. Yeah, Tamina wins all. And we have the main event of the evening. The Rock versus Randy Orton with main event Jey Uso. Tiny main event Jey Uso refereeing.
All right. Here we go. The crowd is on their feet. The bell has yet to ring, but there's so much tension in the air. Rock is, in theory, alone tonight. Randy is just staring a hole in Jay. Jay finally calls for the bell. It's on. As the match happens, we see Jay call it very loose. He allows them to hurt each other. Randy goes for a pin, but he doesn't count. Randy then gets up in his face and starts yelling at him to do his job. Jay just laughs. Randy goes back to Rock, who at this point has rolled out the ring. As Randy walks through the rope, he gets hit with a chair by the Rock. Jay lets it slide. Rock just keeps pummeling him with chair shots, kind of like he did with Foley. Then Jay finally tells him to back up. He takes the chair from Rock. He looks at it. Then Jay starts unloading on Randy with the chair shots. The crowd lets out a cheer. Rock starts egging on the crowd. He knows he has this match in the bag. After Jay is done, Rock starts throwing Randy into the barricade and tosses him onto the announce table. He's going for a rock bottom on top of it, but Randy counters and he's able to hit an RKO through the table. Randy then starts to get the upper hand for a while after this, and then they're back in the ring. Randy hits his draping DDT. He hits an RKO. He looks at Jay as he goes for the cover. Jay reluctantly gets on the mat. He counts 1, 2, but he stops the count there and doesn't count to 3. Randy again starts fuming. He gets up to yell at him again, but before he can, Jay super kicks him. Randy is dazed, but he starts to get up again. Randy sets up and he hits a spear. He climbs the top rope and he hits Randy with a splash, with a Nuso splash. Rock is finally up. He gets Randy. He hits him with a rock bottom. He starts setting up for a people's elbow. He takes off the pad. He throws it in the crowd and he hits it. The crowd goes crazy. Jay gets on the floor as Rock goes for the cover and he counts 1, 2. He doesn't count the 3. Rock looks at him confused. We get a shot of them talking as Rock is still covering Randy. He says, "What are you doing?" And we see Jay say as he's holding up a 2 in his fingers, "I'm so sorry. I didn't want it to go this way." We cut to Rock's confused face as it turns into a face of fear because we hear Roman's theme song play. Rock quickly gets up. The crowd goes crazy. Roman walks out and he starts slowly going into the ring. Then he starts running at the halfway point. Roman's in the ring. Rock goes for a clothesline. Roman ducks, hits the ropes, bounces off, hits a giant Superman punch. Jay's just watching it all go down in the corner. Roman starts setting up for a spear. He hits it. Rock is laid out. Roman drags Randy's body onto Rock, and Jay counts 1, 2, 3. Once Randy is conscious, Jay hands him the belt and he storms off. Roman grabs Jay by the arm to stop him, but Jay pushes him away. The show ends with Roman at the entrance and Rock in the ring staring at each other.
Jay would rather have Randy retain the title than side with a Rock. Insane.
No, that's not what happened.
He kind of sides with Roman, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's not happy about it.